I'm gonna show you how to work on cars without fender covers. So we've done a lot of work to the 65 Impala here off camera. I want to show you what we got going on here. So you can see that we have the intake tube on it here. I ordered the air filter element. Then we got the overflow all hard lined in. We're using the cooler in the radiator for a power steering cooler. So we come off the gearbox into the radiator and then out back to the reservoir. If you remember on the 65, we put the training cooler in this little filler panel here. Turned out really nice. The transmission is in it. We got the used performance 4L80 in here installed. It's almost done. I just got to get a couple more fittings to finish up the cooler lines. I'm gonna do a little piece of hard line still and then a little flex. Got the drive system all fully assembled and done. We got the serpentine belt installed, so that's all finished up. You can see over on the passenger side, we got the breather tank for the fresh air because I didn't want to run it into the air filter element. I don't want to get any oil. I'm trying to keep the oil out of the intake. From the factory, this goes into the intake. It'll suck oil pretty much. It'll get oil into the intake. And that's why I did the external breather tank. I got the cooling hose all on it. The cooling is all done. I got the heater hoses. I got the upper and lower radiator hoses. I got it full of coolant. So that part of it is great. I got the filler cap. We're missing that. I got the filler cap in there. Just all the little picky things. It's really coming together. So this thing we're going to show here in a minute, he went really crazy on a stereo in this thing. And he was worried about the amperage on the alternator, but to go to a more amperage, you can't even see the alternator because it's F-body drive and it's down low, but this is a 150 amp alternator. And pretty much to go to the next 200 amp or bigger, the body is going to start getting bigger and it's already running out of space down there. And the brackets, it is already done pretty much. So we didn't want to change it. We moved the battery. We mounted the PCM right there on the core support, and then the fuse box and the fan relays and stuff are going to go pretty much where the battery used to be mounted. So we'll show you what we're going to do with the batteries. I think it's really nice setup.
First, you got to show me how to work on a car without fender covers.
So you have back muscles in your back, and then when you lean over a car, your back muscles hold you up, so you're not touching the car. Only your shirt is touching the car, which is nicer and softer than a fender cover. There's no pressure on it. So you lean over and you work, nothing's touching the fender. And if you can't, you can support yourself, hold yourself up like this, and you can work like this. You can, oh, my back. I can lean on this frame right here. I could use this hand and work. If I wanted to use a fender cover, I'm gonna get very off course. Let me show you this battery tray. Let me show you this battery tray. So this is the way I decided to do this. So this is the original battery out of the car. And like we talked about, that he added, I think he got a really crazy stereo in this thing. This thing's gonna be really trick. We added another battery, so now we have reserve capacity. So if you decide to have, it turned up with a lot of bass, a lot of amperage to draw, you have reserve capacity. So the way I'm gonna set this up is I'll show you and then pretty much I'll finish it off camera and then you'll see the final deal. So this is how it's gonna sit in the trunk. This is a new battery. This is the original one. This is pretty new battery, so I only got one. So this is gonna sit like so. This is gonna be up underneath it like so. So then we have our hold down. So we have our longer nuts here that's gonna get welded to the tray. Then we have a little spacer here so you don't see the all thread. Makes it look clean, right? So we're gonna hold down our batteries, one on each side, and then this will just have a washer and a nut on top of it. I didn't want to see the batteries, is the deal. I wanted to make it functional, but not something you're gonna see because I want to focus on the stereo. So when you pop the trunk, I don't want to look at a battery.
Just get out of here, you stupid, dumb animal!
So pretty much gonna make a bracket. So these are gonna come up here on both sides, and this is gonna come across, and I'll have a brace in the center. And then we're gonna take our amps. We got our super trick here. We got some JL audio. So one is for the sub, and one is for all the other speakers. So this one's for all the speakers. So it mounts like this, and it has these little stickers that you can put on depending on how you mount it. So with this bracket that's on here, this is all gonna be welded together, and then I'm gonna tap this for the mounting for this, and then this amp's gonna pretty much sit like this. It's gonna block the battery, and then this amp is gonna mirror it, like so. So pretty much gonna sit like that. And then the amps, when you open the trunk, you see the amps, and it's gonna block the battery. You're only gonna see like the upper quarter or half maybe of the amp because the speaker box is gonna be behind it, and that's ginormous in itself. But let me get this together. I'll show you the final product. Well, it's been quite a while. This battery tray kind of went in a couple different directions, but this is the final product. It got added on, it got modified, it got redesigned. I think it turned out really trick. Like I mentioned before, we have the dual battery, so each amp is gonna have its own battery, so it has its own amperage, and then we're gonna wire it, obviously together. Both of these will get charged from the alternator. When the idea came up of adding the stereo, I think the amps are much nicer to look at. I came up with the idea of having the amps stand up here, gives them plenty of airflow. And then it got to the point that these amps are pretty heavy because of the quality of them, that I had to add some bracing. I was just planning on having his uprights, but then I started hanging the amps on it and I put the batteries in here and I kind of, went like this to move it, and the whole thing kind of flexed. I'm like, ooh, I need to add some more reinforcements. So that's how it kind of kept going. And then originally these weren't supposed to be here. Actually, it wasn't supposed to have these little stands. It was supposed to be up tight, but then I added this aluminum piece because I didn't want to see the block on top. I wanted to have the kind of aluminum to go with the amps, and then it hit the screws that I have on here to hold it on. The amp hit the screws, so then I had to space it out. This thing is heavy. There's a lot of weight on here. Definitely not gonna pick it up and throw it in. I might have to adjust the rear suspension up a couple turns on the coilover just to get the ride height back to where it is right now. Before we get this all tore apart and installed into the car, I want to show you the gas tank here. We removed the gas tank, the stock tank that was in it, and it's a little beat up, so I'm not really going to worry about getting it powder coated or anything crazy with it. So we got the whole fuel system here pretty much, other than the feed line to the rail. This is the whole fuel system set up on the tank. And I tried to eliminate as many hose clamps and points of failure as possible. So this is what I came up with. So the only part that's going to be a piece of hose is going to be just a short piece here, 2-inch probably or so, piece of rubber hose, and just a couple clamps on both sides. I'll put a little flare on here.
Run me through the way the fuel would flow.
This is going to be the little racetrack here, what have you, of fuel flow. That's the racetrack outside. So we have our original sender to the tank. So I removed the sock that is normally inside the tank here on the outlet. So we're running the stock outlet sender, and then this is all -6. So we have a -6. So this is our suction side pretty much coming out of the tank, and then we go into our pre-filter. Got an air motive pre-filter here, and then we got it just tied right together to the pump, and we have our electric fuel pump that puts out, I think this thing's like 83 PSI. Factory return style is like 60, I think it is, so more than enough fuel pressure. So then we come out of the fuel pump, and just because of pure real estate, I had to do a little loop. So then we come into our LS3 style regulator filter, extra or post filter regulator, and then anything that is excess, it bypasses it. So it comes out here as a bypass. It'll come out, and then I welded a fitting onto the tank here, and that's where it returns the bypass fuel back to the tank. And then the pressure that is non-regulated that goes up to the rail is going to come out, and then I have a little flex here. It just seems to help having a little bit of a flex on noise. You kind of get some of the whiny noise out of the pump that doesn't transfer through the whole entire fuel system. This is crimped on both sides. This is a high pressure Teflon flex, so we're not going to worry about anything coming apart. And then this is a bulkhead fitting, so this is going to be welded to the frame somewhere. I haven't determined yet. So now I'm going to take all of this apparatus off of here. I'm not going to paint the whole tank like I mentioned. I'm just going to touch up this rattle can where I got the mounts here. So I got the, I don't know what they call these nuts. They're like a taller, a deeper nut. So I have just 3 of them. So the one for the filter, and then there's 2 here. And these clamps weren't ginormous enough. I don't even know if they make some ginormous enough, so I use a longer bolt here and a nut. So that's how I mounted it. So I'm gonna take all this off, and we're gonna get the gas tank reinstalled.
They say it'll be fun, they say.
Man, it was totally worth all the effort that went into that battery tray, the fuel lines, and the fuel pump mounted on the gas tank, because both of them turned out trick. And before the master mechanic comes back in here and tells you how he's gonna lengthen his injector pulse and tune his NOS timing,
amateurs don't use nitrous oxide. I've seen the way you drive. You got a heavy foot.
I want to tell you guys about our new channel that we have created called ZHP How-Tos and Repairs. This channel is going to be home to all of our how-tos and repairs, just like it says in the name of the channel. We've had a lot of comments asking, can you guys do a how-to on how to tune a small block Chevy, timing, how to set timing properly, how to wire electric fans, and so many other things that we have had in the comments that we wouldn't want to put on this channel, because we're trying to keep this channel just more focused on the builds and us going and doing events. So this channel is going to be perfect for all the how-tos that we want to create, but we don't want to put on this channel. We want to keep it separate. Go down in the description below. We have the link to the new channel. There's no videos up on it currently, but there is one being in the works right now with plenty to come. Like I just mentioned, a lot that you guys have commented on. So go over there, subscribe. You'll see videos soon.
Well, it's a good thing we gave you a little walk around on that gas tank before we installed it, because our lift doesn't quite go up high enough to get underneath it and give you a good shot. But we got the gas tank reinstalled, all the lines on it. I'm gonna change the hard line, that little bulkhead with the bracket that I was gonna weld to the frame. It's not gonna work out back here with the way frame is and the suspension and the exhaust and everything going on. I'm just gonna hard line it up. So it's the only thing I changed. Everything else is the same. So we got the gas tank all installed. So now we're gonna continue on with removing the old stereo. Just give you a little idea of how this custom thing was installed. I really hope this isn't Blake's quality workmanship. They had the power wire here for the amps. I don't even know where it runs to, into the door jamb or something, what they got going on, but I got finished removing this. And then we're gonna get the amps pulled out of the back, the old setup that had 2 amps and the spaghetti of wiring. It was actually fastened down. It had a couple drywall screws or something. I like the battery tray. The battery tray turned out really good. I like the fact that you can't see the batteries, that the amps hide them. It's kind of funny because now we're going to put this speaker box in here that is ginormous, and you're only going to see like a little portion of the top of the amps. So this is what he decided to go with on this thing. And he originally, well, he did buy 2 of these things. So this is the 12W7, which isn't your average everyday 12-inch speaker. This thing is like, has its own zip code, I think. You had to get a special box. Because he went to go get a box, and the guy's like, what kind of speaker you got? You know, just got this, and he's like, no, I got this W7. Like, oh, this thing's gonna be pretty unreal. And you think that they just have a lot of packaging in this box, but that's not the case.
That's not a case, that's a box.
Don't you have to be stupid somewhere else?
It's its own box. Look at that thing. Look at that magnet. That's like what you go on rides at Disneyland with. Look at that thing. It's got more rubber on there than Goodyear. Actually, I don't think that's rubber, but it's got more travel than the trophy trucks. How about that? The thing's unreal. Blake's gonna go around busting out his Will Smith CD. Be the hardest hitting Will Smith you've ever heard.
All I know is I'm upstairs, I'm listening to my Will Smith CD.
So you gotta take out these little rings here, little locking rings. Actually peel the speaker back. Oh, this is scary. To get to the screws. Bringing home a trick engine and taking it all apart, put it in the car. You shouldn't trust me with things like this. Let this be a lesson to you. Look how many screws this thing has to hold it in here. I think it tries to go into orbit. It tries to keep it from leaving the planet. This still needs to be wired and everything. I'm just setting it in here just for demonstration. We got to drill the holes and everything, but that's pretty much what it's going to look like right there. Okay, check this out. Look, we'll compare it to the old one. Look at this little adorable guy. This is what used to be in there. Isn't that so cute? So this is a 10. It's a little 10 here, and this is a 12. But a little difference in speaker quality for sure. Kicker's a good speaker. I'm not trying to badmouth anybody. Let's not take this wrong now. So we're gonna finish getting the speaker installed and wired. We're gonna get the rest of the system wired, the car. So when you come back, this thing's gonna be, it's gonna be going like this. It's gonna be going all, I don't even know if I should do this. It's gonna be all. Make sure you come back. Like, share, subscribe, tell everybody. See you next time.